Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons & Dragons, and we are specifically going to talk about a dungeon master, a more experienced dungeon master mentoring a less experienced dungeon master. And generally that means an older dungeon master mentoring a younger dungeon master, but now we are reaching a point where that might not be the case, because you have people coming in from all kinds of different directions, right? So I want to talk about The Bear, season 1 and 2. There's going to be spoilers for all of The Bear in here. And the reason why is The Bear is an absolutely brilliant new television show that every dungeon master needs to get on. It is absolutely stunningly good, and it's really important that every dungeon master is watching this, because what it says, The Bear talks about food, creating food for restaurants, right? And the reason why it's super relevant to every dungeon master is we have to put in art, we have to put in inspiration, we have to make something that's truly unique and exciting that our players want to consume at a high frequency, right? And we have to do it on a high frequency grind rhythm, right? And that, I think, like if you're a painter, you can paint whatever you want. You can, put out a painting and then sell it, right? But the reality is, because of what Gary Gygax established for Dungeons & Dragons, he's like, these are campaigns. They go over a certain period of time. You could set your frequency. Your frequency could be once a week. It could be once every 2 weeks. It could be once a month. It could even be once a season, right? But you need a frequency. You've got to be hitting a frequency, right? And that's very much like any chef. Any good chef has to bring art, inspiration, innovation to their meals, to the meal content. But they also have to do it on a high grind, high frequency, right? So, but what The Bear really does is it shows the bear. He's the main character, and then he has this very specific, he has a very specific, an apprentice, right? Who he is bringing up as a master chef to get stars, to be as good as he is. And I thought what the show did beautifully, and that every dungeon master has to see, is this situation of when does a mature dungeon master actually exasperate and fail the person they're teaching, and then when does the person they're teaching, the less experienced, less mature dungeon master, what happens when they're right and they have something powerful to teach specifically to the person who is to the more experienced dungeon master, right? And it doesn't happen often, right? And it's shocking and it's upsetting to the experienced dungeon master when they're like, oh man, I picked this apprentice person because they got mad skills, right? I picked this apprentice person because they're mad charismatic. I picked this apprentice person because they're mad confident. I picked this apprentice person because they're mad intelligent. But oh snap, right now, I ain't teaching nothing. I need to stop and listen and learn, and I'm being taught. And that's distressing. That is like, oh snap, it's upside down right now. I'm supposed to be teaching, this less experienced dungeon master, but because this person I chose has all this potential, oh man, I got this one aspect wrong, right? And now I really need to be quiet. I need to slow down. I need to acknowledge that this less experienced dungeon master has something for me to learn, right? And suppress hubris, right? And be prepared to actually hear what's being put down and to make it happen, right? And that is powerful. It's incredibly powerful. And it's perfectly illustrated in The Bear, right? And also you have to see the performances by The Bear and his younger, more experienced person of color apprentice, who there's cultural issues, there's cultural differences between them, there's age differences between them, there's style differences between them, there's confidence differences between them, and it perfectly shows how we should proceed forward with a more experienced dungeon master teaching a less experienced dungeon master. Absolutely fantastic, extremely well done. You've got to check this out. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider subscribing and have a wonderful millennium.